I have to lollygag for like 30 seconds. So let me lollygag. There's a reason why. So I was looking at on the video. I can see I'm working on my van. You'll see it soon. I mean, you'll see my startup. Um, I just need a video to complete. I can just send it right now, but it wouldn't make sense really. So if I could just do one more video to kind of say, okay, this is part one of me building the van. Okay, but that's not why I'm here. How long am I talking? Damn, 30. Let me do a minute. But this reminds me of Money Pit. You guys ever watch Money Pit? Money Pit, yeah. Good movie, especially like if you're buying a house, newly married. That's a good movie. I want to watch that with somebody though. Money Pit with Tom Hanks and Shelley Long. Yeah, that was an excellent movie. But I haven't seen it in years, so I'm not quite. At the time, it was an excellent movie, but I think it's still a good movie. Okay, are we ready to start on some real serious topic? Before I start, about Money Pit, because the reason why you say Money Pit, Carlos? Oh, because this reminds me of it, the movie, but also how long is it gonna take to get the 2 weeks? That's the same thing. That's the same thing they said in Money Pit. You gotta watch the movie. Okay, I don't have any notes. I'm gonna speak freestyle in the conversations I've had in the past few days about. I'm gonna blend them together, though there's no relation. Maybe, I don't know. Tyler Perry and Ryan Garcia. Let me start with Tyler Perry first. And I don't know what I'm about to say, so bear with me. And I'm going to speak to you very raw. And okay. You ever watch this movie called? Speaking of movie, not Money Pit, but you ever watch Deep Cover? I'll never forget where the question was asked: what's the difference between a black man and a nigger? And the character said, a nigga would answer that question. Okay, that's where I grew up, and there was a code. There was a value, though it was given to us not of a value, but when we were more together, I'm talking about blacks, it was you didn't mess with that word, and then other races knew it. You didn't mess with that word, and if they did mess with it, there was a problem. Okay. Well, nowadays, I'll get to the Ryan Garcia. Nowadays, it's just a common word. Even in Europe, really just the young folks, it's a common word. So I'm going to get to that. But Tyler Perry, I was asked about what do I think about this new movie coming out. I'm out the loop with Tyler Perry. I haven't seen, the last movie I saw of Tyler Perry was with sorry, I got to keep it together, with Keisha Knight Pulliam, how you say her name? Rudy Huxtable from The Cosby Show, when she was in it. That was weird because, that wasn't a majority thing. But I knew about it because younger and frat parties and all that type of stuff, that stuff happened. But it wasn't just blacks doing it. So I feel that Tyler Perry, outside that movie, and Idris even said something about, like, why do you always have to make us bad? Like, it's in your blood to make us bad. Though he did a good movie. I forgot, man, Daddy's Girls or something like that. I forgot what Idris. That was a good movie. But all the other movies, like 90% of his movies, we are thugs, we're killers, we're abusers, and that travels. Even in Europe, when I was talking to groups, it travels. And as much as it just sucks that people believe what's on TV. It's believable. What they see in the movies, it's believable. And I gave them an example, like in Italy. I gave an example like I'm though there is do I say this lower? There is mafia out there, but well, you can send me out there thinking that, oh, I just gotta watch every corner, that there's just mafias all over the place. It's just mob city, and it's not. It's not. And I went there knowing that. I don't believe the movies, and I believe actual people who are actually living there to tell me what it's all about, recording what it's all about. And so, but here in America, I can't tell the Americans that it's not like what you're seeing in the movies. If anything, there's, well, they have guns, but there's no guns. So what are you afraid of? There's guns here. There's no guns over there. So what are you afraid of? But they don't want to believe it. It's just so. And with movies like Tyler Perry doing with black men, really, with black men, there's a lot of people who don't want to believe it. And the other part I was saying, speaking to my friends, was women, black women, I say women, but black women, because of personal things that's happened to them, it's like all black men have to suffer. So this is praised because of, and that just that little seed can blow like that thanks to Tyler Perry. But the other thing is, I can't. That's who Tyler Perry is. You can't change who he is. That's who he is, and his business is booming. His movie, he's doing these movies because they sell. So there's nothing you can say, and there's tons of people who go watch it. Just like there's tons of people who will put you down. There's tons of people who are jealous of you. There's tons of people who are going to point the finger at you. But when you point the finger, there's three pointing back at you. I like to say that. So this is what makes our new world go round. So I can't be upset. Yes, it's disappointed, but I just stopped watching them. But just me stop watching them is not going to. That's just who I am. And hopefully, there is somebody we can all put our support to, who thinks differently, to help support him. That's the importance of these independent movies and like the Sundance, which I'm kind of out the loop now since I'm not acting really, and that's what the importance of like these movie festivals are for somebody. If we can capture somebody who we see that there's somebody who's shining a light on black men. I suffered from it even in court, where the judge was black, and something maybe else probably also, but it didn't matter what I was going through, what was said, the stuff that I had. I was a black man, and that kind of sucked. Okay, hold on. When I talk to groups in Europe, well, I made them listen because, number one, the only thing I had in common with Americans is that I talk fast. But everything else in my mindset, the first thing I told them is, the first thing I'm trying to be is Carlos, right? And Carlos is a black man, but what I appreciated with them, I told them, and I'm telling the world now, what I appreciated about them, Europe, really is Italy, but Europe, period. Really, Amsterdam, Scandinavia areas, really, there, I did not feel black at all. I mean, I got tons of stories now, man. I could go into a place, and they're like, hey, what brings you in town? And but that was really it. But it was, I was told years ago, like, there's not, well, now, well, there's not many of you, but tell that to the policia. So, and then the policia, I talked about this story where they had stopped me, but it wasn't because I was, well, yeah, it was because I was black, but they actually thought I was African. So the moment I spoke, their eyes like lit up, because I really questioned them, like, what is it, so I don't do it next time, because 4 times today you guys have stopped me. What is it? And at the time it was winter, and I had a trench coat on. I forgot what else. I said I went through everything except for my skin. Is it because this trench coat? Because I won't wear the trench coat anymore. You know, I said there's drug deals all right behind you, policia. There's drug deals all right behind you, but something. What was it? Please tell me. And they were just trying to get out of it. The moment I spoke, you're American. Yeah, and they were like, uh-oh. So even then, it wasn't. It was just they thought I was African, because I got to talk about that another. There's a system there. So Tyler Perry, he's gonna do what he does. If we can get back to the basics of, I feel like which I have a friend of a different race, I won't say, but I have a friend of a different race who says, nah, you ain't the only one. But I always say, we are the only race with no support for each other. And it helps with a movie like Tyler Perry, because sometimes you know that you don't even think so, but you're watching a movie and then it's programmed in your mind and you start becoming that person and you don't even realize it. So what I think of Tyler Perry, you know, that's what he does. I do what I do. People may not like it, but it's what I do. But what he's putting out there is for the zombies. It's for the energy vampires. That's what he's putting out there for. And there's a lot of them out there. But I'm not one of them. There's lemon in here. Lemon and something else. Okay. Ryan Garcia. I'm going to speak my mind. I was a big fan of Ryan Garcia. I was putting him up there. My favorite fighter of today, my favorite fighter of all time is Evander Holyfield. My favorite fighter of today, which I think we've seen the last of some of his. I think he's just got maybe one more fight, I think, because he's starting to do promotion. Errol Spence. But I got my eye on, man, Gervonta Tank Davis is trying to make me a fan. But I'm a Ryan Garcia fan. Especially because how humble he is after a loss. I really don't want to say his name in a bad way, as far as who I'm going to say. It reminds me of the Mel Gibson situation. Oh, you guys don't even know. I was supposed to do a movie. I forgot what movie it was for. I was supposed to do a movie for Mel Gibson. Year 2017, 18, somewhere around there. And I thanked Robert Downey Jr. for the guts to get up there in front of everybody. It was some award show. Like, we are all stone casters. All of us are stone casters. But how many of us are forgivers? Okay. Ryan Garcia. I have applause on him. I know he's going through something because he's supposed to be a brother in Christ. He's supposed to be a believer, and we have all gone off the path. I discuss my daily life now on I don't want to lose the connection that I have with God, because it's very easy, because there's a lot of energy vampires, and there's people who are looking for me to fall. To this day, there's people looking for me to fall. And it's difficult. And I imagine, and he's young, he's 25. I imagine it's the same way with Ryan Garcia. And you better be careful, with the money and all that, and people around the yes sirs and you know the yes sirs. Um, the importance of finding a good, and it doesn't have to be 1,000 people, just your good clique that's gonna watch your back. And do you trust them? You know, you, but you won't really know that until you know yourself. He's very knowledgeable. I think some of it, the percentage is the pressure that the media puts, because he speaks the truth. Ryan Garcia, he speaks the truth. And when I say the truth, I mean some of the stuff that I do, some of the stuff that I get. Let me tell you about YouTube. These people are taking views and likes away from me because I'm putting stuff out there that I probably shouldn't be putting out there. Okay. So I can only imagine for somebody like Ryan Garcia. So I'm putting a pause to see what. I hope he gets it together. What he did was wrong, but really, was it wrong? Because nowadays, ever since I worked at this school, was it high school? No, middle school. But then they went to high school. I knew two little dudes, a brother man, and then I knew a Clipper fan, and what was so good about the brother man? The parents, that I can remember, we never spoke to parents, but once they saw him talking to me when on pickup, and we would just talk, just catch up and the whole thing at the end of the school, and I remember the dad and the mom, they would just go and park, they would wait to pick him, they would see me talk to him, and they would park, and they know that I was giving them some heat or some. That's how I hope that we all could do together as black people. And so one day, the Clipper fan, who I was good friends with him and the father and the mother a little bit, but really the father, because we went to Clipper games, and they were playing basketball, and he said, he's like, "Come on, nigga," and brother man was like, try not to say their names. Brother man was like, "Hey, you can't be saying that. You're very cool. You can't be saying that, right?" And he was like, "Yeah, man, my bad. And he was like, "Come on, dribble the ball, nigga." Yeah. He's like, "You say it again, I'm going to have to give you a warning shot." I said, "What's a warning shot?" And then here comes, I see a Clipper fan, and his lip is just like, damn. I said, "What's your real shot?" And I said, "Look, to tell you the story, the whole story, I said, look, I appreciate you coming to me." And I gave him a little tidbits and everything. And I was glad that a younger person knew the importance of that word, whether it's nigger or nigga. Okay, the importance of this word. And we, as black people, have just let it loose, because now, again, in Europe, I was saying, I saw some young kids who were just using that word. All races use that word, and there's no worries or anything for any of us blacks. There's no. I remember playing basketball, and I had to stop playing. I said, I can't play you guys, this other races. I can't play, and you guys saying that better than I can say it. And I'm like, I can't do it. And they didn't see what the problem was. And then I also look at it as, Ryan Garcia is 20-something years old. I look at it as, okay, it's just a common thing to say until it's Black Lives Matter's time. That's not necessarily true, because it was a lot of, but when we're alone, that would be great. The Black Lives Matter, that support should continue even without the big movement. Like when I'm walking, that would be great for a person of an opposite race to make sure that I am okay, because there's some bullshit that happens, right? That would be great. Don't just save it for a big protest or anything. Save it for you see you walking, hold on. Hey, how you doing, man? All right. And he's making sure that I'm safe. And then maybe the police is coming, and they're going to stay right there to make sure that it's going to be clean. Not automatically because you saw Tyler Perry do a movie thinking that I'm doing some type of drug deal or I'm out to do something dirty. That would be great if there can be some changed minds like that. But again, we are kind of the same, as I went with a van lifer, And he went. I said, I don't want to go in there. And he went in there and he came back out. He said, let's go somewhere else. I said, well, for me, he's like, nah, you know what? They were staring at me like, he said, they had me convinced that I'm about to steal something. I said, I got that. I get that same feeling all the time. It's an everyday feeling, man. And so we talked about it and went out. So nowadays it's kind of different where that's just a common thing, and we don't speak up about it. So why choose to be upset with Ryan Garcia when we can't wait till the volcano erupts, right? We got to make sure there's safety before it erupts, right? And what are we doing to make it safe, or to put some importance on not letting the volcano erupt, you know? So I just think it's weird. There's other incidents that I want to bring up on TV, not a race thing, but black on black. You guys can probably figure it out. And like, this guy gets a pass. He's getting love, but what about the guy who got slapped? You know, what about him? Where's the protection for him? And where's the honesty? Was there any honesty? So I think it's the same feeling of, okay, so let me feel like hope and pray for Ryan Garcia, because there's just something about him. If you look at all his stuff, which I do, his talk and everything, he's on a level, and there's spirits that try to keep him below that, and it succeeded. Okay, so that's my little rant on my past few days conversations. I hope I didn't miss anything, but I think I should. Okay, I was told if I can talk more about the van lifer that I travel with, and how are we all the same, yada yada yada. So what I meant there, if you didn't understand, so now I see that we're all the same. All of our race, like, so I have a friend in Austria who, her and her husband, they're pretty, in many people's minds, you wouldn't consider them poor, but they are, because of how the system is going, how the world is going, how things are going. They're, before we used to have upper class, middle class, poor, right? Now you're either rich or you're poor. That's what it is now. And so with him, well, now, like, even with being in his van, you know, we were looked at differently. So I'm like, damn, I gotta incorporate this too. Like, I'm already looked at black, and then I gotta look at it this way. But he was getting the same look. So that's how the world is today. And really, with us, not, when I say us blacks, not really putting the importance of the word. You know, I think there's a ladder of, like, if this is going to be a common word, then who are we as a people here? And do we just allow more easy disrespect because it trickles out? This is how we're being able to be harassed and judged and all that stuff. You know, that's how I believe how it goes. Okay. And this shows also, speaking on the envy of back in the day when we were used to word, oh, there was other races who really, they do now, but now they can choose to be us and then turn it off when it's trouble. But before, there was an envy of wanting to do what we do and speak how we spoke. Okay, but now they can do it, and so something has changed there. What did I say? What else did I say? Also, with the word, the word has changed in time, just like how the system has changed in time with us, where all of us are being harassed. It's just now the matter of, are you rich or are you poor? And this is what happens when you're poor. Before, it was just, this is what happens when you're a black. Now, that's not to say, as I was telling the van lifer, that is not to say it's who are you going to choose, police officer, Policia? Who are you going to choose, me or my white friend right here? Who are you going to choose? I think a lot of you guys can take your guess on who they're going to choose. So there's still that, but at the same time, we both have to really plan and think. Like, okay, so how are we going to do this, and where are we going? You know, so where before it wasn't really like that. Did I explain well? I hope I did. Anyways, that's my little talk on that. I'll talk to you guys later.